25 years ago was the last time the West Indies won a test match in Australia. Starting tomorrow night, Caribbean time, they will get another opportunity to win a test match. Hello everyone, this is the Cricket Forum. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to the show. I hope you are having a wonderful day. In 1997, Jaden Seals was not yet born, probably not even thought of. Alzari Joseph was 1 year old. No member of this team was in secondary school. They were either in primary or kindergarten. That's how long ago the last time the West Indies won a test match in Australia. This time, they got two warm-up matches to play. A curry-goat match, one of them you could basically call a curry-goat match. But the second match was a proper first-class match. So they have two matches to get ready. In this day and age of cricket, these things don't usually happen. And I'm wondering if the Australian, in a desperate bid to make the tests competitive, plan this acclimatization for the West Indies. Now, looking at these two matches, I've decided to name the 11 that should play in tomorrow's night game. Starting, the match is in Perth, Australia, so it's expected to start somewhere around 10 o'clock Jamaica time, 11 o'clock in the Eastern Caribbean. The pitch at the Walker, well, it's not at the Walker now. The Walker field is no longer used for test cricket. It's now the Optus Stadium. It's across the river from the Walker field. And the West Indies will be playing their first ever test match at this new facility. Now, the pitch is said to be similar to the one at the Walker. And you remember that famous victory in 1975-76 by the West Indies at the Walker when Roy Fredericks took on Lily Thompson Co. and made 169 in that series that we got 5-1. The only match that we won was at Perth, which they call the Walker, the field that is called the Walker. Now, the pitch that the West Indies is going to play on tomorrow night is a drop-in pitch. So they try to assimilate a similar pitch to the one at the Walker, and they'll be dropping in. It is dropped in. It's a dropped-in pitch, and so that's the pitch that the West Indies are going to be playing on tomorrow night. Now, I'm going to look at the 11 that I expect to play in the match tomorrow. Yes, 007, respect, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to name the 11, and this is the 11 that I expect to play. Well, to open the innings, I don't think anyone have an issue with my selection here. Brathwaite, the captain, sorry about that, who has been a very steady opener and captain of the West Indies team at the top of the order. Chanderpaul, Tej Narayan Chanderpaul. I'm getting mixed up whether to say Taj Narayan or Tej Narayan because I heard it pronounced both ways. So, Taj Narayan Chanderpaul is expected to open with Brathwaite. He had got 119 in the first innings of the practice match, well, the warm-up match, the first class match, and in the second innings, he got 56. Chanderpaul is averaging almost 100 for this year. After the first innings of this match against the Prime Minister's 11, his average was over 100, but he made 56, so I guess the average probably come down to somewhere between probably 85, 90, or 95 thereabout. But it's not 100, but it is very close to 100. So nobody would have a problem or an issue with Brathwaite and Chanderpaul opening. We would be surprised if it is not those two persons who are opening tomorrow night. If it's not those two persons are opening, we'll be shocked, we'll be surprised. A curry-goat match, not the first class match, a curry-goat match, which was the first practice match. We saw Brooks open and made a 56. But after Chanderpaul impressive performances in both innings of the first class match, there's no reason why he should not be opening. We will be in shock if he is not the opener in tomorrow tomorrow's night game. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, all. Good morning, all. 007, I saw your team. I soon come to your team, 007. I will put it on the screen shortly. In fact, let me put your team on the screen just to make it run quickly across. So that's 007 team. But as I said, I expect now at number 3. Who will bat at number 3? It will be one of these 3 persons: Bonner, Brooks, and Reefer. Now, Bonner is the one who has been batting at 3 and 4. But it's clear, and information coming out of the West Indies camp, not only now in Australia, but over a period of time, is that Bonner does not want to bat at number 3. He prefers to bat at number 4. And Bonner, these are Bonner. Since Bonner scored 100, 123 and 38 against England in that first test earlier this year, in a match where he made 161. Since he made that 161, Bonner's last test innings are 9, 3, 4, 33, ducks and ducks. That's Bonner's last 6 test innings. Against pace, against South Africa and against Pakistan, and both these matches, both these test series were played in the West Indies last year. Against real pace, Bonner's score have been 10. He is substituted in the second innings of that first match against South Africa because Norca licked him flush in the helmet. So against real pace, he had scored 10. He got hit where he couldn't complete the match. 0, 5, 37, 2. That is Bonner record against real pace. 10 substituted because of getting hit. 0, 5, 37, 2. And also, his last 6 test innings have been 9, 3, 4, 33, 0, and 0. This was against England and Bangladesh earlier this year in the Caribbean. So naturally, more than that, Bonner is usually the choice for number 3. In the first class match that ends last week, Bonner's score was ducks and 12. He got 12 from 66 deliveries. So those were Bonner's score. Now Brooks' test record is worse than Bonner. There's no doubt about it. Brooks' test record is worse than Bonner. What is in Brooks' favor for me, is that I don't think Brooks is going to run from the pace. I don't think Brooks is going to back away from the pace. I genuinely believe that Bonner is afraid of the pace. I have nothing against Bonner. I'm just talking cricket here. I have nothing against the gentleman. I have nothing. I'm just talking cricket, and it's cricket I'm talking. I think Bonner is suspect to genuine pace, as I show you with those statistics. He not only got hit from Norca, he has scored 10, 0. Is one time he passed 30 against genuine pace when he played against South Africa and Pakistan. Those teams have genuine pace. Brooks, who opened in the Curry-Goat match, that was the first match of the tour, he scored 56. He and the captain, Brathwaite, put on 100. Was it 100? He and Brathwaite, I think, put on 134 for the opening partnership in that first match. So Brooks got a 56. He did not play in the first class match, the warm-up match against the Prime Minister's 11. Reefer, who have batted at number 3 in West Indies' last 2 test matches, got an injury in the first class match that ends over the weekend, and he batted at the end to try and save the match for the West Indies. He faced 26 balls and did not make any run. That means he probably could not have run, but he just came out there and bat, because while Reefer was at the crease, West Indies did not score. I think of the 2 runs West Indies scored while Reefer was at the crease, and Reefer himself faced 26 deliveries. He and Joshua Da Silva, I think, saved the match for the West Indies. So I think Reefer is injured, and I don't expect him to play. So at number 3, when all is said and done, I'm going to go with Brooks. I think Brooks is the one who should bat at number 3. His test record is not better than Bonner, but I just think that he's less susceptible to the pace that Australia is going to hit him with. So I am going to go with Brooks at 3. At 4 and 5, I expect 2 of these 3. Thomas, Blackwood, it is said, always want to bat at number 5. I noticed in the match last week, in the warm-up match, in the first class match, that Thomas was asked to bat at number 4 in both innings. He scored 54 in the second innings of that match. In the Curry-Goat match, he scored 77 and 35. So in the Curry-Goat match, he scored 77 and 35. That was the first warm-up match that they played. And the match last week, he scored 54. Now, earlier this year, in the regional 4-day competition, Thomas scored 414 runs at an average of 59, almost 60, 59 point something. He scored 414 runs, 1 century, and 4 half centuries. That is in this year's regional cricket tournament. So Thomas' selection in this squad is justified. When I look back at the statistics, Thomas' selection in this squad is justified. He was the 3rd leading run scorer in the regional 4-day cricket competition that finishes earlier this year. The 2 persons with more runs than him were the 2 openers, Brathwaite and Chanderpaul. Those were the only 2 persons with more runs than Thomas in this year regional 4-day cricket competition, and he averages almost 60, 59 plus. So he deserves his place in the squad. And the fact that in Australia, he has 3 scores of 35, 77, and 54. I would have Thomas at number 4. And I saw where in the match, they bat him at number 4. So I think this is the thought process of the West Indies selectors down there to bat Thomas at number 4. Now, we can only pick from the squad that is there. We cannot pick from who is not there. So Thomas will be my number 4. Blackwood will be 5. That's where Blackwood wants to bat. So I've gone 5 names so far. I just kind of look at the comments and saw what the comments are saying. So Supernova 22, I just put Supernova 2211 on the screen. Is of Narayan, Chanderpaul, Brathwaite, Bonner 3, Blackwood at 4, Thomas 5, Mayer 6, Ola 7, Da Silva, Joseph Roach, and Seals. That's not a bad 11. 007 is asking him to take out Bonner. So the chat is going on lively. That's what 007 is saying. But Supernova respond by saying 007, look at Bonner average versus Brooks test average. I agree. And that's the point I was making earlier. That Bonner average is better than Brooks. Bonner average, Bonner test record is better than Brooks' own. There's no doubt about it. Why I'm giving Brooks the edge is this. The information here, plus I believe that Brooks is a better player of pace than Bonner. I think Bonner is highly susceptible to genuine pace. As we saw against Pakistan and South Africa, apart from getting hit by Nokia, he has not have a century in 5 innings against genuine pace. His highest score in 5 innings against genuine pace is 37. He have 10 ducks, 5 and 2. In addition to that, Bonner last 6 test innings. That is against England this year and Bangladesh this year. This is his last 6 test innings. 9, 3, 4, 33, ducks and ducks. In addition to that also, since this tour of Australia, in the match that has just been completed, the first class warm-up match against the Prime Minister's 11, Bonner made a 3-ball ducks in the first innings and a 66-ball 12 in the second innings. And I firmly believe that Brooks, although his test record is awful, and although Bonner have a better test record than Brooks, I am going with Brooks because I think Brooks is going to stand up to the pace more than Bonner. I think Brooks is more likely to succeed in Australia more than Bonner. I'm scared of Bonner batting at number 3 against Stark, Cummins, and Hazelwood and add Cameron Green to that. I'm just scared of him batting at number 3. So I will put in Brooks. That is my reason. But your opinions are always welcome. And that is why I love this community so much, because we have different opinions, and different opinions makes for a lively conversation as long as we remain respectful and decent and talk about the points and not about the individual. At 6-7-8, I don't think anyone will agree with Mayors at 6 disagrees. There should be disagree. I don't think anyone will disagree with Mayors at 6, Old at 7, and Da Silva at 8. Most persons will have those persons in their team to bat at 6, 7, and 8. So I think at 6, 7, and 8, it will be. Just a minute. Just a minute there, okay? At 6, 7, 8 would be Mayors, Older, and Da Silva. So Mayors, Older, and Da Silva will be at 6, 7, 8. I don't think anyone will disagree who will bat 6, 7, 8. It will be Mayors, Older, and Da Silva. At 9, 10, and 11, I have 4 bowlers to choose from: Joseph, Roach, Seals, and Chase. I believe that West Indies is going to want to play the off spinner. That's my genuine belief. And in the 2 matches that they played, Chase batted after Da Silva. That means they are sending a message to Chase that Chase, you are the off spinner in this team. We hope you will contribute with the bat, but you are more here for your spin bowling. I think that is a message that they are sending to Chase. And in the 2 matches that have been played, he has bowled over 50 overs. He bowled more overs than any other West Indies bowlers. So I think those 3 final spots will be between Joseph, Roach, Seals, and Chase. I think Chase will be in as the off spinner. Chase will be in, which leaves Joseph, Roach, and Seals. My other choice, so I will have Chase. I will have Chase batting after Da Silva. So Chase will bat at number 9. Joseph will bat at number 10. Joseph is the spearhead of the attack. Then it comes down to Roach and Seals. Now, this is where the controversy lies, because how Sheldon Simit is going to tell me, and I know he's going to tell me very quickly, that Roach is the leader of the attack. But I will not pick Roach in this first test team. And I'm going to give you my reason why I am not picking Roach. But before I give you my reason, let's take a look at the comments again. The comments that are here. Yes, but Chase been poor. Roach and Seals. Supernova 22 is saying Roach and Seals must play. Okay, so this is my reason why I am not going with Roach in the 11. This is it. I'm putting it on the screen. In the last test series that West Indies played in Australia, Roach got none for 247 from the 41 overs he bowled in the 3 matches. He did not get a wicket in those 3 matches that he played in the last test series. None for 247. In 6 matches in Australia, Roach have gotten only 7 wickets at an average of 86.28. In the warm-up match, in the first-class match that just ends this weekend, Roach bowled 25 overs for only 1 wicket. In Roach last away match that he played for the West Indies, that is this time last year in Gali, Sri Lanka, he bowled only 14 overs in the match. He was so ineffective in bowling those 14 overs and did not get a wicket. Now, I want to say something here, and listen to me carefully. If this match was being played anywhere in the West Indies, Roach would be the first name on that paper. Apart from the captain, Roach would be the first name on that paper. In the West Indies, Roach is a world-class bowler. he averages 22 per wicket in the West Indies. Roach in the West Indies can play for any team when he's playing in the West Indies. Away from the West Indies, Roach average is 39 runs per wicket. He is not as effective away from the West Indies as he is in the West Indies. When he's in the West Indies, he's great, and I will have him as the first name behind the captain on the sheet. He's still a great bowler, very highly effective in the West Indies. Apart from the statistics, and people are going to say Roach is the leader of the attack. Yes, and I would have him in Australia as a mentor for these guys. I will still have him in it. Apart from the statistics, I would want out of my leading fast bowler 18 to 20 overs for the day. Roach will not be able to give us 18 to 20 overs in Perth. I have, just like Bano, I have nothing against Roach. Absolutely nothing against Roach. And I will repeat, in the West Indies, he's a fantastic bowler, almost unplayable. Away from the West Indies, he's not so effective. He is taking wickets at 39 apiece. In his last away series from the West Indies, he bowled only 14 overs and was dropped for the second match in Sri Lanka. That's how ineffective he has been away from the West Indies. In his last tour match of Australia, 3 matches, 41 overs, no wicket. In this match, the warm-up match, the first class match that just finished, he bowled 25 overs for only 1 wicket. I will not play Roach ahead of Seals. So my 3 seamers that I'm going into the match with are Older, Seals, and Joseph. And I'm very excited to see Seals and Joseph bowling that new ball. Very excited to see Jalen Seals and Joseph bowling that new ball on that third pitch. Very excited. Older will be the third seamer, and you have backup from Mears. I expect Chase to bowl roughly about 26, 28 overs in the day's play. I'm expecting that from Chase, and I expect him to go at less than 3 runs or over. That's what I'm expecting from Chase. I'm also expecting 18 to 20 overs from Older, Seals, and Joseph. And Mears will fit in somewhere between 10 and 12 overs, depending if he's bowling well. Now, if you notice, since the West Indies team arrived in Australia, Older has not bowled in a match. That is telling me that the West Indies selectors on tour are saving him because they are not going to play a 4th pace bowler. They are only going to play 3, and he's one of the 3. They are not going to play 3 pace bowlers plus him. So I think the West Indies selectors are saving him because they have a big workload for him. And I expect that they will only play 3 pacers, and the 3 pacers will be Seals, Joseph, and Older, backed up by Mears with his medium pacers, and the bulk of the bowling will be done by Chase, who I'm expecting to bowl somewhere between 26 and 28 overs in a day's play. I'm going to look at the comment. I know my squad is controversial. Roach is also a better batsman. So you can't use Sri Lanka as reference because Sri Lanka is a spin zone. Fine. I take that 007. But remember, in the last tour, he got none for 247 in Australia. That's what I'm saying. In the last time West Indies went to Australia, Roach did not get a wicket in 2015-2016. He bowled 41 overs in 3 test matches the last time the West Indies toured Australia. That's what I'm saying at 007. The last time the West Indies toured Australia, here's it. Roach, this is down in Australia now. Roach, none for 247 in 3 matches. That's 2015-2016. The best Roach ever did in Australia was get 3 for 93. That was the same time that he broke Ricky Ponting hand. That's the same time he broke with Ricky Ponting hand when he got the 3 for 93. And in the second innings, he never got any wicket either. So the best he have ever done in Australia was that 3 for 93. In 6 matches in Australia, Roach have only gotten 7 wickets at an average of 88.28. And generally, Roach record away from the West Indies is poor. Well, it's not as I don't want to use the word poor. Let me say it is not as good as his record in the West Indies. It's not as good. Most of Roach played, I'm going from memory here, but my memory is telling me that he played 31 matches in the West Indies, away from the West Indies, 31. Can be checked. 31 matches away from the West Indies, and he got 70 wickets or 71, thereabout. In 31 matches away from the West Indies, he got 70 plus wicket, either 71 or 72. In 42 matches in the West Indies, he got 180 plus wickets. He got more than 180 wickets in 42 matches. So in 10 matches more matches in the West Indies, you have taken more than 2.5 times the number of wickets he took when he's away from the West Indies. So I'm saying that Roach's record in the West Indies is sublime. He was one of the best bowlers. His average in the West Indies, taking 180 wickets, is 21.82, less than 22. Away from the West Indies, his 71 wickets cost him 30. His 71 wickets is costing him 38 runs, almost 39. In Australia, in his last tour of Australia, in addition to not getting any wicket in his last tour of Australia, so far in the 2 matches that he played since he's there, he has gotten only 1 wicket. And he has bowled over 40 overs and only got 1 wicket. And that was in the last match that he bowled 25 overs for 1 wicket. I am not going to play Roach. If I was picking the team, I would not play Roach and I would not play Bonner. This would be my 11 if I was picking the team. I would have Brathwaite opening, Chanderpaul, Brooks at 3, Thomas at 4, who deserve his game. Thomas deserves his game. Let's see what he can do. A number of persons, there's a lot of criticism about Thomas, that Thomas should not be there. But as I said, in the last regional 4-day tournament this year, Thomas scored 414 runs. His average is almost 60. Is almost 60. He averaged 59 point something. And only that, his strike rate, I think, is 93. He strike at 93 runs per 100 ball. So he was effective. And furthermore, since he's in Australia, he has scored of 77, 35, and 54. So Thomas deserves his game. Blackwood will be at 5. Mayers, Old and Da Silva. No one has a problem with that. No one has a problem with Joseph and Seals. Now Chase is going to bowl as the half spinner. He's going to play as the half spinner. Because if we do not have a Chase in the team, the bowling will be so similar. Australia is going to play Nathan Lyons, although the match is playing at Perth and the pitch is lively and fast and bouncy. And I have some quotes from Jason Older that I soon share. So although the match is playing at Perth and the pitch is lively and so on, we still need a seamer. We don't have a left arm seamer in the team, not seamer, spinner. We do not have a left arm seamer in the team who you could say would give us some variety. So the only genuine option, alternative we have in the team is to play Chase. So Chase is going to play. Now, let me look at the comment, because I know the comment is saying that Roach have to play. But let's see. The first one is from Scabby Boss. Let me put on my glasses. Yes, Scabby Boss. I would play Seals, Older, Joseph, and Myers. When he had 007 saying that, but in 2015 he had guys who were taking wickets around him though. Who are those guys, 007? Please put it in the comment. Who are those guys? Scabby Boss is saying stack the team with natural all-rounders. No Bonner, but Brooks, yes. Brandon King is not there, and although I would have carried Brandon King if I was a selector, the thing is that Brandon King is not there, and we have to support who is there. I would have carried Brandon King in the first place. I would have loved to see Brandon King batting at 3, but he's not there. So we have to, as West Indies supporters, we have to support who is there. So I'm giving all those who are there the support. Scabby Boss, no chase. He's out for me. He will learn. Give me a try. So okay. So those are the comments that are coming in. Thank you all for putting in your comment. We hope that you'll continue to put in your comment and continue to read those comments. So that would be my 11. This would be my 11. Brathwaite, Chanderpaul, Brooks, Thomas, Blackwood, Mayers, Older, Da Silva, Chase, Joseph, and Seals. Now, Older has been talking to the media, and I just want to go over a few of the things that Older has been saying. He has been speaking to the media, and so these are some of the things that Older have been saying. Older said, people, he was referring to the pace bowlers. People get carried away seeing carry and bunks, but you still have got to find a really good length suitable for the wicket, understanding when to attack, when to defend, and understanding the scenarios and phase of the game. So that's some of all the comments. So all that is basically saying, yes, the pitch at the stadium at Perth is bouncy and is fast, but we cannot get carried away. We cannot get carried away. We have to remain focused. We have to remain concentrated, and we have to find our right length and line and know when to attack and when to defend. He went on further to say, and these are just some of the comments, I think the most important thing for our bowlers is to make sure the Australian batters work really hard for their runs. We have got to assess the condition early and make the necessary adjustment. Those are comments from Jason Older. Spot on again, spot on, very spot on. Put pressure on the Australian batsmen, not because the pitch is fast and bouncy and lively, you're going to spray the ball around. Because these Australian batsmen, they will capitalize on anything that is offline. And the scoring, the ground at Perth is a very fast scoring ground. It's a very fast scoring ground. It's when you get value for your shots. It's one of those grounds that he said that you get value for your shots. He was speaking about Joseph here. He was, because Joseph's birthday, I think, was yesterday or the day before. So Joseph now turned 36. But this was in speaking about Joseph. He got pace and he's very aggressive. He's a guy who will be an enforcer. Good to see him fit and healthy. He's obviously developed a lot. Very introvert and didn't say much in the dressing room. Now that last part when he said very introvert and didn't say much in the dressing room, he was referring to the little birthday celebration that they had for Joseph, that he didn't say much. So those were 3 comments from Older. I think all 3 comments are spot on. That's the first one talking about the bunks and they must get carried away. The second one saying that they should put pressure on the Australian batsmen and they should look for consistency and so on, assess the condition early. And in the third one, he was talking about Joseph, he has said that he developed a lot. He got some pace and some bunks. Just going to look at your comments. Now, Sheldon Smith is saying, how are you planning to take 20 wickets? Are you open to bat your way out? No, I think that Joseph and Seals and Older and Chase can take 20 wickets with Myers. I think those 5 bowlers, in all honesty, Sheldon, I'm trying to pick the best team here. And I don't think away from the West Indies, Roach is one of our better bowlers. I don't think so. I don't think. And why I have to play Chase? All right. I could have probably bat Chase at 4 and put in another seamer. But isn't that batting going to be a little thin? Because that's something that I look at to know. You could probably Blackwood or Chase at 4. And no Blackwood want to bat at 5. But we could put Chase at 4. I think we have to play the off spinner. Furthermore, going off what the selectors are saying, that they think that the Australian team is suspect to off spin bowling. So they're going to play the off spinner. And this is the squad that is down there. I don't think Roach is more capable of taking wickets than Seals. I think Seals is a better wicket taking option. Alzari is replicating the demeanor of Sir Curtly Ambrose. Very good. Sir Supernova 22, old as a former captain of the respect of the press. 007 is saying, would be glad to see Joseph take his first test fifer. We also will, I'll be very glad to see that also. And I think that Joseph is bowling very well. I really think Joseph is bowling very well. I really think this team, and do not expect them to win the match. But if this match can last after lunch on the 5th day, even if Australia win this match and it lasts after lunch on the 5th day, I would be happy with that. I hope the West Indies win. I really want the West Indies to win. I would not bet my money on them winning though. I don't think this West Indies team is as good as the Australian team. Is it the best? Is it the best squad that we could have sent down there? That is not the argument now. These guys that are down there are there, and we have to support them. If we're a supporter of West Indies cricket, let us support those who are down there. And if when the team is named tomorrow night, the 11 that I selected is not the 11 that is being played, I am still going to support the 11 that is selected. That is just me. That I'm just giving my opinion here of the 11 that I would play. What I'm saying is not rule, is not gospel. It's just my opinion of the 11 that I would play. You got a part-time spinner, Brathwaite, Blackwood, Thomas, who bowls off break. Chanderpaul, Brooks, who also bowls leg spin. But no, the thing about 007, but are they going to give you the control that Chase would give you for 26 over? I'm not saying Chase is a world-class big-time spinner, but Chase can give you a certain level of control that these part-time spinner will not be able to give you. Brooks will be a waste of space. Play Roach in his spot. He will make the same amount of runs and takes some wickets. Sheldon is saying, Sheldon, I see your view. No, Sheldon, the only way I disagree with your opinion, and I said your opinion, where I disagree with your opinion, the record does not show us that Roach is an effective bowler away from home and especially in Australia. Roach last test series in Australia, he played 3 matches and he did not get a wicket and he went for 247 runs. So the record does not show us that. Now, if Roach is in the 11 tomorrow night, I'm going to support Roach and I want Roach to prove me wrong. I want Roach to bowl so good that you guys will come back and say, you see, we were right about Roach. You see, you were wrong, telling me that I was wrong about Roach. I hope Roach will play, if he plays, and prove me wrong. Right? I really hope he proves me wrong. But I'm saying at this time, I wouldn't pick him. But if they pick him, I hope he proves me wrong, and you guys will have the last laugh. Because in the end, it's West Indies I want to win. Yes, but I understand. But these guys are not down there. You understand me, 007? What I'm saying is that we all have our choices we would have wanted to be on the tour. But what I'm saying is that these guys are not down there. So let us support who is down there. We have to support who is down there. As West Indies supporters, let us support who is down there. Simit started as a spinner, unknown, just reserve it. I don't, Scabby Boss, you want to explain? So Ian Bishop is lying when he said Roach is the lead bowler. No, Roach have 252 test wickets. I think he has passed Michael Holding and he's now behind Ghana. Roach is a fantastic world-class bowler. I'm not taking anything away from Roach. But Roach record away from the West Indies is not as good as it is in the West Indies. Roach have 181 wickets in the West Indies from 42 test matches. Away from the West Indies, 31 test matches, Roach only have 71 wickets. That is what I'm saying. In my mind, and I respect Ian Bishop a lot, but at this point in his career, Joseph for me is the leader of the West Indies attack, in my opinion. My opinion differs from Bishop when it comes to who is the leader of the attack. Bishop is highly respected. I respect Bishop. I listen to Bishop a lot. I think Bishop is one of the best analysis of cricket in the world. He has such a brilliant, clear mind. But in my opinion, I differs from his opinion at this time in both of them career. And as I said again, if this test match was being played in the West Indies, Roach would be the second name on that paper. Away from the West Indies, I'm not going to play Roach. I'm not going to play Roach. His record does not show. His record does not show. I'm expecting a decent fight from the boys. Don't expect them to lie down and roll over like in previous series. Me too. I really think the test team here is tough. They are strong. They have been through a lot. And that is one of the things that Jason Older said in the interview. What I put on the screen was not everything that he said, but one of the things that he said is that this group has been together for about 5 to 6 years, and we have been through a lot. We have bonded, and we are a strong unit. That's one of the things that he said in the interview. So I do not expect this team to roll over and die. I expect them to put up a good fight. I do not expect them to beat Australia, though. Not in Australia. I would be very happy. I would be absolutely happy, Z-Face. Kemar Roach will prove you wrong, strong, trying to bring him. No, that second part is not true. I'm not trying to bring down Kemar Roach. I am stating the stats. In 6 matches in Australia, Kemar Roach have gotten on the 7 wickets. I could not, come on, FaZe. That second part is not right. I have said repeatedly on this show that in the West Indies, Roach is a great bowler and he will be the second name behind Brathwaite on the team sheet if I was picking the team. That's not how you bring down somebody. I'm just stating the facts. His record away from the Caribbean, in 31 matches, he got 71 wickets. In the Caribbean, in 42 matches, he got 181 wickets. He's a world-class bowler in the Caribbean. Away from the Caribbean, he's not so effective. I'm not saying something that I make up out of my mind face. I'm saying something that is there for all of us to see. You can check his statistics. And I will never bring down a West Indian cricketer. Never. Why would I want to do that? I want the first part of your sentence, I agree with it. If he plays, I want him to prove me wrong. I would certainly want him to prove me wrong if he plays. I have nothing against Roach. I'm just saying that the statistics in Australia. What must I do, FaZe? Must I tell a lie? In his last 3 matches in Australia, in 2015, 2016, he played 3 test matches. He bowled 41 overs. He got no wickets and he went for 247 runs. Is that bringing down Roach or is that talking the facts? Is that talking the statistics? I would never do that. I appreciate your comment, but I would never bring down a West Indies players. I only talk the truth. I talk the facts. And so I welcome your opinion. And I appreciate the first part of your statement. I want him to prove me wrong. But the second part, you saying I'm trying to bring him down. No, I would never do that. I would never do that. I would never do that. Joseph is just the fastest bowler of the lot. Roach is the leader and better fast bowler of the lot. I know, all right, let me say this. I know that is a controversial decision to leave out Roach. I know it's a controversial decision to leave out Roach. But when I look at all the statistics, when I look at all the information, I would leave out Roach. Now, let me say this. If you have Roach in your team, I do not have an issue with it. And I hope that he proves me wrong. I really want him, if he plays, I want him to prove me wrong. But I would not be surprised if he doesn't play. And I do not have him in my team. So it's good conversation, very good conversation, but we need to look at Roach's performance away from home compared to his performance in the West Indies. And I'm saying it again, in the West Indies, Roach is a world-class bowler. He will be the second name on the team sheet if I am picking the team. And if this match was being played in the Caribbean, Roach should be the second name on that team sheet. In this match, though, at Perth, I would not be playing Roach. I'll be playing Seals, Joseph, and Older as a three fast bowler up front. Okay? But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And I enjoy the comments. I appreciate you expressing your opinion as I express mine. I appreciate the to and fro. It makes for a lovely conversation. I really enjoyed it. And I really hope that I give you something to talk about, especially that I did not name Roach in the team. So many of you would probably say, how comes he didn't name Roach in his team? But when I look at the information, I have to go with Seals and Joseph. I would not be surprised if the West Indies selectors pick Roach. And if they pick him, I hope he proves me wrong. He will have my full support. I always support the West Indies team. And I'll support them ever. No matter who's playing, I will support them, whether it's my favorite player or not. Would I have selected the squad that is down there? There are players who are in this squad that I would not have selected, and there are players who I would have carried. But those who down there, and I have to back them. Sheldon saying, who you backing for the football? Well, Sheldon, Brazil. Brazil, Sheldon, Brazil. Who you backing, Sheldon? I'm backing Brazil. Oh, they have a match coming up at 11 o'clock. They have a match coming up in 8 minutes' time. I'm backing Brazil. I've always backed Brazil. And as I said, in the next 8 minutes, and no work will be going on in Jamaica. Or a little bit of work will be going on in Jamaica. Jamaica is a Brazil country. Don't worry, Del Boss, the watching unknown West Indian selectors. Respect. Respect, Yabe Boss. Respect. Kante is injured. All right, so I'm back in Brazil. Sheldon. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And I hope Brazil win. I'll be back this afternoon. I have a topic that I'm researching and looking at. Something that I did last week, Monday. I got a lot of response from it. A lot of people, as I said, about 75% of the person agree with what I was saying. Another 25 criticized me harshly. I even got phone call, critics who call me. So I'm looking at another topic similar to that one. But until then, take care of your loved ones. Take care of yourself. And may you have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in. Slash a like on the video, share and subscribe. God bless you all. Take care now and have a great day.